Good morning. We're here at the Southern Forest Heritage Museum, Longleaf, Louisiana. The former Kroll and Spencer Kroll Longleaf Lumber Company sawmill, which was here from 1893 and operated until 1969. We're at the machine shop, which is one of the older buildings here on the grounds. My name is Everett Lueck. I'm the sort of non-resident historian and the superintendent of the Red River and Gulf Railroad, which operates here on the museum grounds and out into the woods. Machine shop is a fairly old structure. It's 107 years old, having been built in 1913. It was built here when the railroad changed their maintenance operations from their original base at now ghost town of Ashmore, Louisiana, and they ran their operations out of there until about 1913. And this dates from the extension of the railroad southwest over to Meridian and the establishment of the Meridian Lumber Company and the Meridian Lumber Company mill at Meridian, which was another Kroll and Spencer operation. Originally, this was the engine house, and this has a single track on this side passed through. There was a servicing pit in here and a few machines in here. So it was a machine shop, but it was also the first engine house here at Longleaf. Off to my right, we'll talk about it later, is the second engine house that was built in front of this one when they had to service more than just one or two locomotives at a time here and store them here. The machine shop does have room to store 2 locomotives inside, especially if one of them is one of the small shays that they used to run around here. The shop is all belt driven. It was originally powered by a steam engine. In the 1957 renovation, it has a single huge old electric motor that powers all the belts. We'll turn those on and let you see them here in just a minute. The shop was completely renovated, completely restored. The machinery as much as possible, again by John Weiss and David Hamilton. They spent about a year and a half working here in the shop, restoring the shop and its machinery. A lot of the machinery in here works. Drill presses, lathes, shapers, planers, they all work. And John and David have actually built patterns and parts for several different tourist railroad operations in the country, along with Cumbres and Toltec in Chama, New Mexico. So our shop has contributed to modern day use, even if it's not OSHA compliant. And we use a lot of the machinery today. We use the drill press, we use the power hacksaw, we use the lathes, we use quite a few things in here to work around Longleaf. We've used the forge, so it's a bunch of stuff that we really use here, and it's very handy. And if we're able someday to ever restore a steam locomotive, this would be the place where we would actually go and start the restoration effort here in the shop. We're inside the machine shop now. The machine shop has been the focus of some of our restoration efforts as of late. We had some water problems with water coming in the back side of the building from the track embankment, which runs behind the building to the car shop. And as a result, we've been working in the shop and outside the shop. We had stabilization of the foundation piers on the outside so that we were not losing material going that way. In here, the engine 202, 202, as we have been informed by one of the great grandsons of the owners. The 202 behind us is actually one of the last wood burning steam engines in Louisiana, and it was actually the last one in regular logging service in 1954. It was sitting about where I'm standing when it was moved inside about 1999, and with the water flowing underneath it and the ties rotting out and the weight of the engine, it was sinking into the floor. So this spring we managed to move it back to where it sits today, And we've renewed the track here. We dug everything out, put in heavy clay rather than the windblown silt that occupies most of the floor. A drainage system underneath, and we just finished yesterday laying the track. We'll ballast it this morning. After this, we talk about this video. At any rate, this is a shop. It's all belt driven, and Tucker's going to turn the belts on for us. A lot of this machine, the shop was made. You got to move a lot of heavy parts inside this machine shop. Over the forge, we have a jib crane. Above my head is a traveling crane with a nice block and tackle right here that you could move heavy parts from one end of the shop to the other. There's another jib crane over by the 202. We have a power hacksaw. We have the forge, got a grinder. We have a horizontal boring mill right here where you would turn driver tires and wheels and flanges, anything you needed to turn in that you could turn in a horizontal position. A large industrial drill press. We have two of them actually. We have behind that lathe. We have 2 or 3 lathes in here, planers, shapers, and a full-blown wheel press. Not all of this operates. To operate the horizontal boring mill or the wheel press, we would have to renew all of the gaskets and fittings inside, and that's just beyond our capabilities at the moment. However, this machine shop is one of only maybe 3 to 5 still remaining in the country that are belt driven like this. This is, to my knowledge, the only one that actually is in serviceable condition outside of the former Columbus and Greenville shop in Columbus, Mississippi. They're restoring the shop at the East Broad Top, and hopefully when it's done, it's a more complicated shop than this, but it'll be nice to have a second operating belt-driven machine shop in the country. So this is unique. If you are interested in, again, industrial archaeology, the things that we do, this machine shop is unique, and it provides you a glimpse back to 1913 when it was first built and was in continuous use up through 1969. A little bit more on the 202. It sits there. Like I said, it was the last logging train. It ran the last log train on the Crowell and Spencer lumber line, September 26th, 1954. They ran the cleanup train and brought everything in from the woods, and the woods operation by rail ceased. We would love to have you see our shop. Come to Longleaf, see something from the past, see something unique. You can't see this anywhere else. Longleaf is the only place you can see this. And it's worth bringing your children for a history lesson. It's worth bringing the grandparents for them to remember. It's a great place to visit. We're very proud of our shop. We're very proud of the work that the volunteers are doing to restore some of this stuff and rebuild it and maintain it. And of course, if you'd like to come out and volunteer for the Southern Forest Heritage Museum, all you have to do is go to our website, redriverandgulf.net, and click on the Work Sessions tab. And our work sessions are out there for the rest of this year, and pretty soon we'll put them out for next year. We work on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. So please come out. If you live a long way away, we can even provide you with housing for the night, free housing. You have to cook for yourself or whatever, but we do have free housing here on site. If you live close, come out and see us work 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday. Help us preserve this unique American treasure.